Well, it's Tuesday, and you all know what that means. Well, it's been a while since I reviewed GLEAT, this Japanese promotion I watched from day one, and now I get to do it again. I missed so much of what happened in the promotion, such as, of course, factions, disbanded, people joining factions, that sort of thing. But this one, of course, features title matches such as, of course, the Rush Gold Championship, the G Infinity Tag Team titles, and, of course, the big title itself, the G Rex Championship. But this one also features, as you all know, recently I talked about GLEAT becoming partners with none other than Lucha Libre promotion AAA. Well, this one features, of course, the former AAA Mega Champion Alberto El Patron, or as many of you remember him in WWE as Alberto Del Rio. So yeah, he shows up teaming up with Shima. So it's going to be a fun match to enjoy. And then of course we have NXT. As you all know, battle lines are being drawn not only for Evolution, but also for the Great American Bash. So a lot of things could happen before we get there. This one features, of course, a #1 contendership for the NXT Championship. Who will walk out to face Obafemi at Great American Bash? Will it be Yoshiko Inamura or Jasper Shepherd? So that's going to be a fun match to enjoy. And as always, we will cap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, when matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere in the world pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on a like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the jibber jabbers. Let's get rocking. So let's begin with the first event, and this one is, of course, from GLEAT with their version 19 4th anniversary special show. Alright, GLEAT. Well, it's been a while since I actually made a review. I cannot remember the last time I actually reviewed. I have missed so much. I was unaware about certain factions that no longer exist, factions that, of course, broke up. Even the individuals, for whatever reason, they joined certain factions to find homes for themselves. So that is something I did not know. But right now, let's just worry about the present. So this is their much recent show that happened on a Tuesday, well, mostly in Japan, mostly, if you guys know what I mean. This was at the Tokyo City Hall Gallery Gotanda. I don't know where that is, but yes. And this show is the version 19th, 14th, no, the 4th anniversary show. So can't wait to review. Now let's start with the first one. Our first match we have, of course, is G-Rise, consisting of Junji, uh, Soma Wananabe, and JD Lee taking on El Lindaman, Takanori Ito, and Minoru Tanaka. So basically, you can tell this is going to be a good match. However, I thought there was some great, of course, Lindaman, Ito, and Tanaka are in fact a great technical team because they have great technical aspects in their style. So that's something I could definitely see. But in the end, it was, of course, what's his name, El Lindaman, that was able to pick up the win when he applied a German suplex, and just like that onto, who was it, onto JD Lee, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Our next match is a G Rush Championship. This is, I like to consider this one more like kind of like the version of the junior heavyweight slash cruiserweight, middleweight, or whatever. And I heard about there was something like this before, but now it seems like this happened. The title is defended. The current holder is Issei Onizuka. He defends it against, of course, Brad Knuckles Jr., who I remember he is part of the Anti-Glee Monsters, a faction that are similar to like the House of Torture, Hate, that sort of thing. But of course, when it comes to June with his buddies, you know definitely they're going to interfere, and that's exactly what they're doing. But however, they messed up when what's his name, uh, Kawasaki, I think that's his name. He messed up by whacking June by accident with the head with one of those pans or whatever onto him, and just like that, it gave Onizuka the opportunity to pick up the win. What was it he did? Oh yeah, he applied a Hurricanrana, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, he retained the championship. Next up, we have the members of Black Generation International, Kotaro Suzuki and Quiet Storm. I was surprised to see that Quiet Storm is in this group. The last group he was in is with Bulk Orchestra, so I'm going to presume that they are disbanded. And they face against the rivals, Anti-Glee Monsters, consistent of Keishi Sato and Rock Iwasaki. So many of you may not know this. I remember Rock Iwasaki. He was a member, of course, of Bulk Orchestra. So it seems that Glee Anti-Glee Monsters might have taken him in, and that's exactly what happened. But of course, as I mentioned, these two teams are rivals because the original leader of Bulk Orchestra is the leader of Anti-Glee Monsters. So that would make absolute sense. But in the end, it was Quiet Storm that sought out the victory with a lariat onto Keiji Sato, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Our next match, we had a very interesting mixed 8-person tag match. We have team number 1, Michiko, Ryo Aitaka, T-Hawk, and Kazuma Sakamoto. They take on the Best Bros, Mei Shruga and Balinaki. They team up with MXM Collection. Yes, folks. You probably are questioning, wait a minute, J-Rod, isn't it GLEAT and AAA together and MXM Collection are they're showing up? Look, I don't know what's going on in that front, guys, to just be honest. But it was a real fun match, not to be honest with you. It felt like, both Best Bros and MXM Collection really, really got along great. But in the end, of course, this one was won by Mei when, of course, her and her best bro, Balinaki, applied the dolphin press on Michiko, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And of course, they had a real fun posing moment right there. Both Mason and Mei Shruga were doing a little cute thing, while of course both Balian and Mansoor are just posing with their flex muscles. That is a pretty good moment. I have to say, I like to see these two teams team up more often if they see each other again. So that's pretty much fun. Now our next match, we have Shima. He teams up with Alberto El Patron, or as we know him, Alberto Del Rio. And they take on Anti-Glee Monsters, consisting of Chris Vice and of course their leader Ryuichi Kawakami. So you probably guessed, like always, when it comes to Anti-Glee Monsters, they like to cheat their way through, which they often been doing for a long time. And that's something normal that they always do. But however, in the end, it was Alberto Del Rio that picked up the win when he applied an armbar on Kawakami, and just like that, it was over. But of course, as you know, we did see a post-match promo. Shima was in the ring with Alberto, and we did see Dorian Rodan. If you guys don't know who he is one of the top officials of AAA, and he is the nephew of the founder, Antonio Peña, and of course his dad was the one who took over Antonio Peña's position after he passed away, and of course, sadly, um, Joaquin passed away too. So you probably can guess that now that they're building this relationship between both companies. But I think some of you might probably question, will we see GLEAT appear in WWE? I'm not sure, because we do know they do have a strong connection with Pro Wrestling Noah. That's something we are fully aware, but who knows? But we'll see what happens until then. Now our next match is the G Infinity Championship. If you guys don't know this is the tag team titles. And the current tag team holders are G-Rise, consistent of Issei Onizuka, who is of course double champion. He's also the current G-Rise champion. And of course Takahiro Yamamura. It's interesting to see these two guys team up for obvious reasons, because I'll explain a little bit. But their opponents are Black Generation International, BGI, Soi Daimonji, and Tetsuya Izushi. Now, some of you question me, why would I think it's interesting to see Onizuka and Yamamura team up? Easy, because they know each other completely. Now, when Yamamura returned from wrestling, it seems that, Onizuka was trying to have a conversation with him, but Kaito Ishida wanted him to join Black Generation International, but he refused. Or should I say just declined. But it seems now they're teaming up together. But of course, BGI, we've seen what a strong team they were. But I have to say, Onizuka and Yamamura really impressed me with their tag team cohesion. But in the end, it was, of course, Onizuka who picked up the win with a shooting star press onto Izushi. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, G-Rise won the match. Now, our next match is the G-Rex Championship. This is the top title. The challenger is also our current the UWF champion, Katsuhiko Nakajima, and he takes on the champion and the leader of BGI, Kaito Ishida. So you probably can guess there's a lot of cheating, but no, this one features a lot of technical aspects. For those who ever seen Kaito Ishida, he does have striking capabilities and submission. So does Nakajima. But the real question is who's going to walk away. I have to say, Nakajima really impressed me, and he picked up the win. We applied a vertical brainbuster onto Ishida, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, we see, of course, a double champion right there. And of course, El Linda Man was right there, giving the promo about Nakajima. I think he is the spokesperson for him. I'm not sure, but that played out pretty well. So I have to say it was a pretty good show. Not gonna lie. I mean, not the best, but a pretty good show. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it myself too. So I think that's pretty much it for now. So I say let's move on to our next and final review, NXT. Okay, well, our final review, NXT. So let's get to it. Now, we opened up with Trick Williams making his way to the ring, but in reality, he was on his way to the commentary table because, as you know, the next match features Wes Lee versus Joe Hendry, of course, an opponent that, of course, he'll be facing at Slammiversary for the TNA World Championship. Now, when it comes to Wesley, you know he doesn't come alone. He has, of course, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, which I'm referring to Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe, will be there. Now, of course, Joe Hendry almost had this match won, but if it wasn't for DuPont and Igwe getting involved, well, that would have spoiled the plans. But fortunately, Mike Santana showed up to even the odds, and just like that, Joe Hendry applied the standing ovation, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, se acabó. So basically, Joe Hendry picked up the win. But of course, we did see a little later both Mike Santana and Joe Hendry. Now, even though Joe Hendry and Mike Santana have one common goal, is to bring back the TNA World title back to TNA. But the real question is who will be one of the two lucky competitors out of the three to do so. So we'll just have to wait and see when that happens. Now, we did see, of course, Zara and Zoruka talking to Tatum Paxley, try to reason with her, telling her that Izzy Dame is not really her friend. But of course, Izzy Dame has decided to say that she is her true friend, regardless of the situation. But we'll see how things will roll up between them. Now, Luca Cristofino, as you know, was making his way to the ring. A lot of things has been happening since then. As you know, the D'Angelo family has imploded with the betrayal of Stax, Tony D'Angelo having trust issues. Now, of course, Luca Cristofino tries to talk to him as a normal person. And then, of course, Luca Cristofino out of nowhere just sucker punched him down. And Stax being happy about it, well, Luca Cristofino did the same thing to Stax. And Luca said that the only person who's most loyal is Luca. So basically, just like that, he took his stance. So basically, Tony D'Angelo and Stax were in shock about how things have turned around. So we could see maybe possibly a mob-style war within the family, but we don't within the whole thing. 3 different type of families. So we'll see what happens. Now, Obafemi, as you know, is waiting for his next opponent, and apparently he is going to keep an eye on between Inamura and, of course, Jasper Troy, who a man he already defeated. But Inamura, as you know, made a promise that he will get his opportunity towards him. But Obafemi, he'll have to wait and see what happens. Now, our next match, we have Lexis King taking on Miles Bourne. Now, recently, Lexis King interrupted Miles Bourne because, as you know, Lexis King is a cocky SOB. Tried to prove a point, but this time it didn't do any well because Miles Bourne, as you know, he has grown significantly. He was able to pick up the win by a pinfall, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, Dark State decided to put out a video promo giving warnings to everybody on the NXT roster. So we don't know what their next plans are, but I can tell you this, it doesn't look good one way or the other. Now, we did see Thea Hale versus Lainey Reed. As you know, these two ladies did come across each other recently, but now it seems like there's a feud. But ladies and gentlemen, for what you may not know, Lainey Reed got her luck by cheating her way through. Well, surprise, surprise, she did the same thing here. She pinned Thea Hale, but using the ropes, and just like that, she picked up the win. I wouldn't be surprised if Thea Hale decides to right that wrong. Now, Tavion Heights, as you know, made a decision that he wants out of the No Quarter Catch Crew. So basically, we could see something like this again. As you know, Miles Bourne did that. Now it's Tavion Heights' time to do so himself. So we'll see where that goes. Our next match is a women's tag match. We have Zaria and Soruka taking on Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame. Now, of course, a lot of factors are meant to happen on this one, but in the end, it was, of course, what's her name? Izzy Dame that picked up the win by a sit-down powerbomb on Soruka, and just like that, 1, 2, 3 is over. However, there is speculation we could see her challenge for the NXT Women's North American title, either in Great American Bash or Evolution. So we'll just wait and see where that goes from there. Now, Ethan Page, along with the Tweedledums, of course, Vanity Project, making a mockery on Ricky Saints. As you know, Ricky Saints decided the only way he's going to get to, of course, to get the NXT North American title back is to do a gauntlet match. And, of course, it's going to happen. Last time something like this happened, it happened on Evolved with, what's his name, with Shawn Legacy. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ricky Saints actually pulled it off. So we'll see. Now, our main event is the #1 contendership for the NXT title. We have Jasper Troy and Yoshiko Inamura. Now, Inamura told Josh Briggs to stay in the back, knowing that there's a lot at stake as we speak. So Josh Briggs told him, I understand. I believe in you. So basically, you can tell this is the battle of the Haas. So it was a brutal match no matter what. Now, Jasper Shepard, many may remember, he took his claim to challenge, of course, Obafemi and failed. And now he wants to try again, but this time he has to go against a guy who is up for the craziness in NXT, and of course that's Inamura. But in the end, Inamura was able to pick up the win with a big diving press, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, battle line has been drawn. He is the number one contender to take on Obafemi. Now, while Jasper Shepard, I'm sure he's a little pissed off knowing that he didn't get the job done. Well, Javon Evans came out of nowhere and got his little pound of flesh of payback for what Jasper Troy did to him. And I'm sure it was all fun and games. But now, Javon is ready to kick some ass. So we'll see what happens. Now, before the end of the programming, we did see Jordynne Grace pull up a promo talking about her career and, of course, how she got there. But, of course, Fatal Influence are not going to stand by hearing her story. And, of course, it turned out to be a 3-on-1 type of scenario until Blake Monroe showed up out of nowhere. And then, of course, they took care of business. But in the end, Ava decided that next week it's going to be a women's tag match. Fallon Henley and Jay-Z Jane will team up to take on Blake Monroe and Jordynne Grace. So that's going to be a fun match. So we'll see what happens from here on out. But until then, we are officially done with NXT. Let's move on to our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So let's begin, of course, with GCW. These are only updates for upcoming events on this one. As you know, on the 5th of July in Hartford, Connecticut, they'll be doing the top play. It was announced that One Call Manders will take on Man Like the Reese. And then, of course, on the 1st of August for Hit 'em Up in Rutherford, New Jersey, One Call Manders will take on Steve Macklin. So that's going to be a real fun match. So that's pretty much it for upcoming events. Let's talk about our developments. Now, Fightful Selects, as you know, has reported that recently there's been announcement revealing that La Hiedra from AAA has been scheduled for upcoming dates with WWE. But there was indications that she could will probably sign with WWE. Now, I know some people who know La Hiedra and, of course, who her boyfriend is, may have some concerns over that. Now, for those who are new to the channel, you'll probably ask yourselves, what is that important? Many of you know Stephanie Vickier. Let me do a little time recap certain things. 2 years ago, Stephanie Vickier was in a relationship with a wrestler named El Cuartero. El Cuartero actually beat the crap out of her, and as a result of that, he ended up in prison. However, La Hiedra is dating Cuartero's brother. So it seems like there's been some, a blood feud. Well, a kind of a bit of a, and that, believing that, what she did is destroying the family, that sort of thing. So there's concerns that, of course, La Hiedra could harass Stephanie Vickier, but I don't know if that's the case. Some people said that WWE better do something about this, because this is the last thing they need. Because Stephanie Vickier was not happy with the fact that AAA got purchased, because A, she knows that there are people that would try to hurt her. Even not to mention, Conan calls Stephanie Vickier a liar, and many people think that he's an idiot, but we'll see. Hopefully things will work out. Now, Fightful Select also reports that Orange Cassidy will be out. Apparently, it turns out that he torn a pectoral muscle. It's still unclear when he'll be returning. It's still unclear for that. So hopefully there'll be more information down the road, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now, as you all know, Shooty will be taking some time off from Stardom to train here in the U.S. and make her return. Of course, it's been now confirmed that she will not be participating in this year's round robin tournament, the 5-Star Grand Prix, and she left a statement on her social media resulting of this. So let me pull that up for all of you. Here it is. This is what she said. I've been wrestling for 17 years. I thought about it long and hard, but I decided to take a break from stardom and I will train overseas to level up my game even more. My loss to Syuri was really frustrating. I won't go out like this. I want to hold the IWGP again. That's why I made this decision. I'm sorry to everyone who looking forward to my appearance in the ring. I'll be back in Stardom ring one day. Shooty. So yeah, so basically this loss was really devastating for her. I know she worked real hard to get the IWGP Women's Championship, but now she has to, of course, get herself better and try to right that wrong at some point. So we'll see where this leads to right now. I'm sure people are questioning what is the state of Stardom. Well, I'm sure they'll be fine for now, but things could happen as it goes. But we'll see. So as of right now, we are officially done with everything. Let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you know, we have Evolve and AEW Dynamite. As you know, we're only close to All In, so anything can happen from here on out. Now, I haven't decided yet if I want to do another review, but recently I just found out that there was a brand new Baka Gaijin and Friends show that just came out. Sorry about that sound. But yes, I'm looking forward to hopefully get a chance to see it. But as of right now, we'll leave, of course, WWE Evolve and AEW Dynamite as a top priority. But as of right now, I will say this, that I will see you in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.